Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, if you're familiar with the videos that I have been posting lately, I posted one recently about how to overcome anxiety for your sketchbook, especially those of you that have a sketchbook collecting dust and it's just sitting on your desk or in your closet. So this particular method is something that I want you to do over the next 30 days. I want you to throw out any notion that you have that you're a bad artist, that you're worried about what friends or family may think, and that you have to show your sketches to somebody, which you don't. This is your personal journey. This is your exercise. So you can see here that the only tool I have to draw with is my trusty 4B pencil. I suggest 4B because it allows you to go light, medium, and dark with just one pencil. Look at the shapes that I'm just spewing out right now. You'll see here that I did 2 rows of warm-ups before I started filming just so I can get the blood flowing. These don't take a long time. Now what I'm doing is I'm applying loose strokes as well as heavier strokes. And they're all coupled together in these really odd and almost abstract shapes. One of the most fun things that we can do with a sketchbook is actually fill the thing up. And that in itself is a challenge because we're always trying to perfect what we draw. And when we try to perfect what we draw and it doesn't end up what we think it should because we see it in our head differently, what do? We cross these out and then we turn the page. That's a failure. I have failed. I'm sure a lot of you have failed. Maybe you're failing right now with your approach to art. And I just want you to know that it's mainly because you're thinking way too hard about perfecting everything that's down. Some of the best artists in the world simply draw because they just love to draw. And they're not worried about what comes out. Look how fast that I'm throwing these lines down. Just try it. Just try this. It looks like my hand is spasming, but the only control that I have of this is just keeping it within a confined area, and then I'll stop. So when you're looking at these, there is already, 1, 2, 3, almost 4 rows of sketches. It's so much fun. And you could do a bunch of different shapes too. Like for example, I have these scribbles up here in the first 4 rows. So when I move down, I will do maybe small dots coupled with some vertical lines and maybe some horizontal ones going back and forth. I don't know what that is. It kind of looks like a log with mushrooms growing off the side. It looks like some kind of otherworldly jellyfish. I don't know. That's the fun part. Let's move on. How long did that take? 10 seconds? I know all of you can do this too. So this is what I want you guys to do for the next 30 days. Every single day when you wake up, doodle. Don't worry about what it is. If you dreamt of something really neat and you want to doodle it down, even better. There we go. Okay, now we're going to scribble something super fast, and I don't know what's going to happen. And I know you guys can do this too. Just try this right now. Just scribble it. We're going to come back to each and every one of these, and I want to show you a really neat method to adding some shading or value and adding a little bit of color too. I got this idea for the lesson right now because of that previous video I did, just helping people release anxiety in their drawing, helping people release their sketchbook anxiety. It seemed to resonate with a lot of people to the point where I just felt compelled to keep going with this method. This is so much fun. I love doing this kind of stuff. Real short little sketches. Now notice how I'm pressing harder in some areas and I'm releasing pressure in other areas. That's what I want you to do. And then here's the very end of the page down here. Kind of looks like a spaceship, kind of looks like a sailboat, I don't know. Okay, let's move up. Look at that. I just filled that page up and I didn't put too much time and energy into each doodle. This is the power of scribbling. All right, now I get some criticism because I've been told that I jump into, my illustrations and too much advanced artistic techniques. And I'm here to say that it all starts with this though. So I'm going to try to jump into some more beginner-friendly exercises. Maybe some of you out there want to draw, but you just don't know how to pick it up yet. So what I'm doing now, I'm going back over each individual sketch. I'm holding the pencil halfway, and I'm also lightly holding it. Look at my fingertips. I'm not gripping it. The harder you grip your pencil, the more it compels you to do details. So you want to stay away from doing that. So what I'm doing is I'm going underneath the sketch. Underneath as in light source is coming down from above. So I'm just going to put in a little bit of shadow. And I'm picking tiny little areas here and there that may be outlined by some scribbles. And I'm just going to put in some cast shadows. What this does is it adds just enough value across these little doodles to where maybe some shapes will come through. And I think this is the most fun part of the thumbnail process, is seeing shapes emerge from the doodles. And you're going to see a really neat trick here coming up, so just make sure you keep watching this. And those of you that just happen to stumble upon my channel because the YouTube algorithm thinks that you want to watch me, I want to welcome you. Maybe you have some Post-its or some envelopes or paper laying around that you could just doodle. And you can do this with a pen too. You don't need to do it with just a pencil. I just realized that there's like a little, what is that, a little fly? I don't know. But anyway, I'm just going to continue to add some value. Very lightly pressing on the page here. And still staying within the lines of some of these shapes, because some of these shapes are pretty neat. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, down here it's a little spiky. Just wait till we add color and you're going to see a really neat effect. Okay, this shape is pretty neat because there's a lot going on. It looks like some kind of flying beast. But what I'm doing is I'm going thick to thin, so I'm definitely applying some gradients here, and I'm just going to keep going. I see some faces emerging from this too. Hopefully you guys are seeing the same thing in yours. Maybe you're seeing some little animals. Maybe you're seeing some faces, some creatures, or foliage, some guns, props, whatever. This is when your imagination can truly just, evolve. Okay, before I get too far into this, I want to show you a little trick. There are areas on each individual doodle where I want you to press a little harder. Just little areas. And I want you to release that pressure. What this is a cast shadow for some of the parts that look like they're 3D, that are coming out at us, and they're closer towards us than the other areas of the shape. These shapes are totally random. I don't know what they are. They could be spaceships, they could be little flying insects, but these little cast shadows really add some depth. The depth that we're adding for these little doodles doesn't have to be super detailed. You don't have to worry about atmospheric perspective or anything fancy. It's just to show a 3D effect on parts that may be coming out at us. There we go. We're getting there too. Comment below and let me know if this method is helping you. I really love talking about thumbnail sketching because I think that this is almost a lost art. It's kind of sad because thumbnails can give you a wide range of neat ideas, and I feel people ignore this because the idea that's in their head, they feel they have to settle on that one. I just want to tell you that you do not have to settle on any one idea. The next part of this challenge, once you have shading on all the doodles and you have some nice dark marks on the ones that you want. So once you have some dark shading and some nice values on some of these areas, see if you can shape these into something. So I'm looking around here and I'm thinking, you know what? That one could probably be a helmet. So maybe I can just add some edges there. Maybe that face is inside there, something I didn't plan. Maybe there are some horns on the side of that. Like, I have no idea, but it's so much fun doing something like this. So go around, look at your sketches right now, everybody do it, and ask yourself, can this be my pet? Can this be a creature? Can it be a weapon of some sort from some sci-fi world? Who knows? The next thing I want you to do is I want you to add some color. So I have gone over this method before, but I'm going to do it again because it's so much fun. And I'm just going to add little snippets of color here. So we can do like a whole row of orange. I'm telling you, this sketchbook challenge is really going to open up your creativity and hopefully show you that you don't have to be perfect with your sketchbook. Instead, you just have to explore in your sketchbook. Don't ever worry about making things perfect because it doesn't really help your cause. All right, let's get another color. How about some blue? I don't really use blue that much, especially this one. It doesn't really show up well. It's showing up kind of decent on there, but I think the blue is so dark, maybe some of these underbellies to these creatures it'll probably look the best. And I think I'm going to couple it with some green. Let's do that. So let's take some green. I'm going to take probably a lighter one. I don't know what it is, but I think this green just looks really good on moleskin. There we go. I'll put that green there. Put it next to some of that blue. And I think we're good. And maybe I'll put some green on down these sketches. Very little. Because I don't want to mix too much of the marker in. This is Copic marker, by the way. I don't want to mix Copic in with any of the pencil. Well, any markers for that matter. All right, so let's go back in here and see if we can, add in some really dark single lines. Like this, it adds a really neat effect to kind of solidify the sketch. So you don't have to add a lot, just enough to convey a solid shape. Some of these are pretty organic. Some of these are almost mechanical. This is the beauty of a sketch page like this. So those of you that are struggling to fill your sketchbook, or you just want something fun to do as a challenge for the next 30 days, fill a sketchbook page. Now the size of this is smaller. This is not 8.5 by 11. I believe this is 5 by 8 moleskin. Maybe it's a little off on each one. I think it's like 5.3 by 8. I don't know. When you do this, get into the habit of numbering them. You can number them all. Okay, so once they're all numbered, just for your own peace of mind, I like to number my sketches just because it helps me keep track. Maybe on day number 2, there's 26 sketches here. Maybe on day number 2, I start at 27 and I just keep going until I fill it up. So if this helps, comment below. Let me know what you're going through art-wise. And I encourage everybody to try this method out for the next month. And it doesn't have to be just because of this video and you're watching it. Just challenge yourself regardless, and you will see a difference in a month. All right. Remember, you're sketching for yourself and nobody else. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope you create something awesome. Peace.